All right, welcome. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're joining in from. We apologize for some technical glitches. Some people tried to put up some chats. If you're joining, kindly put a comment where the comment chat box is fine now, it's been rectified. Drop your country and say hi. My name is Timothy, and I'm a project management professional. I'm a program management professional and a portfolio management professional. I'm an agile coach. I live in the UK. I have a background in electrical electronics, leadership, data science, and project management. I have few opportunities and in the aspect of managing digital transformational projects, two successful World Bank projects, and I've managed public sector projects and private sector projects. While I was in Nigeria, I was opportuned, is an opportunity to manage projects from the federal level, the state government level, and the local government level. I was also opportune to manage projects across telecoms, across banking, across gold mining, across fintech, and many others that I cannot, my brain is not able to remember now. On LinkedIn, you can see a lot of other projects that I've managed. I'm also a mentor to Tony Lumilo Foundation. I'm the ninth certified portfolio professional, and that happened 2021. I was privileged. I was privileged to have above target in all domains strategic. First and foremost, this certification is the prestigious certification of Project Management Institute, the global office in the US, and it's the requirement is a minimum of 8 to 15 years of experience managing complex projects successfully, and there is a stage of evaluation, that is evaluating all that projects that you've done, all the projects, all the programs that has been done before the examination stage. All right. So because of the limitation of time, you can drop your comments, and I will attend to the comments. I believe we have categories of people, just I did mention, people who want to develop their career in project management, people who are already a beginner in project management, we have people who are intermediate, and we have advanced experts in project management. Uh, Today is not actually a class. It's an hour session to be able to uh, create a community that help to mentor. Since I am a mentor to Tony Ilumilo Foundation, also want to stretch that, and as well as other colleagues of mine that are here, and other colleagues that will join in subsequent webinars. We want to continue to mentor individuals who want to develop their career in project management. We also want to have set of people who are on hands on. For instance, you've got a job, and you are on a project, and you need templates, you need a guidance on what to do first, most important, not to lose the job, and to you know uh, bring excellence to be able to achieve the objective of the project. in the first instance. Project management is wide, because it cuts across different fields, and that has to do with field of engineering, field of and engineering alone has civil, has electrical, has mechanical. It's wide. So when we're talking about project management, we're talking about applying this, and many people has applying the tools, applying the techniques, applying the skills, experience, capabilities that has been acquired over time, um, proven frameworks, best practices to projects to be able to deliver better outcomes, to be able to deliver projects, on schedule, or on the budget, to be able to deliver projects, managing risk, ensuring that communication is done properly, ensuring that stakeholders are well managed, are well engaged, ensuring that the strategic objective of the project or the program or the sub portfolio or the portfolio um, achieved. Don't mind the use of word. I'm very conscious about, because program is different from a project, sub portfolio is different from program, and portfolio is different, even though there are a lot of interconnectivity. When we go into the training proper, that should suffice. This session is actually to be able to um, see reasons why projects fail. If you look at it, we have a lot of projects that you know fail. Civil projects, electrical project, bridges, a lot of them. If you just search on Google, any search engine, you see thousands of projects, enterprise solution implementation projects, building projects that fail. Why do they fail? And how can we manage them more effectively? Looking at even this meeting, um, the fact that we had to run a lot of testing. I was speaking to a colleague and said, no, we've done all the tests that needs to be done. We just need to just join. Because of the experience, I know that even when you have crossed all the T's and dot all the I's, things can still come up. Unforeseen circumstances can still come up. Some of these things are reasons why we need to take project management very, very seriously, especially when it has to do with technology, especially when it has to do with human life. Um, we need to take it very, seriously. Now, looking at people who want to develop career in project management, we've got different frameworks like Scrum is a framework, um, and we've got uh, training sessions that has to do with using Scrum. Is a methodology. So I'm trying to balance the technical words I'm using so that you not get confused, especially when you are new. I remember many years back, these words are kind of confusing most times because project management is abstract. Most times, it's not something you touch. So most of the technical words, the terms are the first obstacles that you need as a young project manager, you need to conquer if you are aspiring to be a professional. So be that as it may, I'm also trying to reflect and trying to empathize to people who are coming in newly. We have uh, platforms, and this is one of the platforms, that you can throw in questions and we can get that to be. So today is an eye opener, is an interactive session. Even later in the day when you drop your comment, if you are joining in from other parts of the world, we'll look at those comments, and professionals would respond to them. Now, we've got different methodologies. We've got an agile methodology, and waterfall for some of us that are used to waterfall. There's also waterfall methodology. Now, all these terms for new, joiners, we may need to have, um, a session, training proper to define this. Now, for that is, some of the tiers that we feel you need to manage. Tiers of certification. You want to write certification. You seen I'm able to show that today I have above targets in a very um, in a very demanding certification, where just a few of us, I'm the ninth, opportunity to be the ninth portfolio management professional in Nigeria, and in the UK we are just very few, very very few. Now, how do I mean? So what I'm trying to say is that I'm trying to categorize those who are new joiners. For new joiners, take it I usually say an expert was once a beginner. There is a path. If you look at in the UK, Prince 2, you talk about Prince 2, you talk about PMI, you talk about different platforms, bodies. I of course recommend PMI and Prince 2. And there is a lot of certifications. You see project management professional, you see the certified associate in project management. I will advise that you start from associate level before the professional level. Okay, there are other certifications in that line. Now you see, these are certification that came newly, just about three. They are not that relatively new now, almost 5 years, 6 years now, but more pronounced, I will say. Now, this is longer, has been in, that's the Agile Certified Practitioner, than the Discipline Agile. Okay. Now, we have Prince 2. Okay. Prince 2 is that framework, also a standard, a body for well known in the UK. It's the baby, is a UK baby. When if I want to use that word in the aspect, in the field of project management. Okay, now we have others, but more importantly, if I want to advise for people going for career, you can start from certified associate in project management before you move into project management professional. Why? Because, and I said an expert was once a beginner, so it gives you the foundation. But if you feel you've had a couple of experience, and you feel by virtue of that, you can move into project management professional, there is what we usually do, which is an assessment to assess you. If you could chat through this platform, I can actually, let me say, we can assess you and see if that is something you can attempt. I attempted this at first and I failed. and I'm going to tell you that story some other time. Okay, now we've got program management. So if you look at uh, pro project management professional, so let me just do a quick one on it. I'm doing it live. So for people going for certifications, for professionals who are having challenges while managing complex projects, or would like to share some of their uh, experts, judgments, or some of their experiences on projects, or your current project, if you have certain challenges, I will touch that area right now, after talking about the young joiners. Okay, so this is project management professional. It talks about acknowledges that you are skilled in managing people, processes, business priorities, of professional projects. Okay, PMI, the world leading authority on project management, created the PMP to recognize project managers who have proven they have project leadership experience and expertise in any way of working. Okay, so to obtain this, you need to have write an exam. Before an exam, you would need to have an application, and the application needs to be approved. Then you'll be required to write the exam. Okay, so what are the you know certification? What does it validate? The PM, as you can see, the PMI certification validate that you are highly skilled, using predictive, agile, and hybrid. Hybrid has to do with the collection of two or more method. Okay, in electrical power, for instance, you can generate electricity, through hydro and as well as thermal. So if you combine the two, for instance, and even through the wind, if you combine the two or more, for instance, you have your wind generating electricity, conserving it, and you have another means, maybe through the solar panel, and you're able to have aggregate the two towards power generation. That's an hybrid. Sorry for that too much of English. Just for the starters, we don't want to assume. So there is a methodology which is called predictive methodology, also known as the waterfall. So what it means is, if I want to build a house, I need to predict the foundation. I need to predict everything I need to do, all the materials, the quantity, everything I need to do, the scope of the project. And of course, when we're talking about scope management, when we want to deal with it in the class, in subsequent webinar, we deal with it in total. It's a very significant part of project management that sets the border, of the project. Everything you have to do is very, very important, that you have the borderline of your project. You'll be able to know the requirements, okay, of the project beforehand, and you're able to see the picture. You remember, you want to create a house, you want to build a house, I beg your pardon, you have the model. You'll be able to see, oh, this is the street of the estates, for instance, and this is going to be the parking space, and a lot of civil planned work. Okay, predictive, you are trying to predict almost every phase of the project, and you can have the project pictorially. You can see everything from ab initio. Agile is saying, no, it's not necessary. Why can't we begin to have an elaborate planning technique? Like, why can't we have an iterate. I don't want to use too much of the terminology for the new joiners. Let us have one phase after the other. Let's plan this phase. It's a little different when it comes to elaborative planning technique, but it's more to I have a website to design or a web platform to design to develop. I need to have the interface, the web interface. you know I need to create that interface, and even the interface, I can session it, to say I want just a part of it. Okay. And a lot of terminologies are also used in the agile environment. You begin to hear a lot of things that has to do with agile philosophy, right? That has to do with agile. So it's just a method of managing a project. Predictive is another method of managing a project. Hybrid is saying, okay, you can add predictive and a bit of agile. Beyond this, there are other sub methodologies, that, for instance, under agile you have other methodologies that you can aggregate together, that can also be like a hybrid. Okay, but we're not going into that for now. So it's just a way of managing your project. So and when we are talking about projects, some people will say, what of wedding? Okay, wedding is a project depending on it, but when we are talking about PMP is not looking at small projects. We're looking at big projects, okay, complex projects. Now, and how do you integrate uh, the scope, the management of the scope? How do you integrate the risk aspect? How do you integrate the costs? How do you manage the entire cost? Some people say, oh, I'm not the finance expert. Project management gives you that capability, builds your skills, the required financial expertise needed to make sure that projects are done well. And I do say an expert is also someone who knows when to call in another expert. Okay, so the fact that you're a PM doesn't mean you don't have another expert. There's a time when you need to. All of this, in terms of stakeholder management, or engagement, as the case may be, all of these things are what you need to put into consideration before um, you embark on a project, before you initiate a project, or during the planning phase of a project, if especially when you are looking at planning ahead, making sure everything is intact. That is what is also known as the waterfall or the predictive. So when you see waterfall, when you see predictive, it means the same thing. Then I think I've done dwell so well on PMP. Now um, you have the program management. You also have professional in business analysis, right? Business analysis is very interesting, beautiful, especially when it comes to someone who understands the relationship between, for instance, a tech and executive. Is able to bridge the gap. Someone who is able to the master. I call a business analyst a master of a scope. Because when it comes to business requirement, quality requirement, scope requirement, when it comes to even into schedule requirements, okay, many people stop at the requirements in terms of the scope. you know uh, a professional goes deeper and look at, okay, there is, or there are requirements even on quality. Okay. A typical document will tell you, okay, can we have a success criteria? Imagine when you are doing a project, you already have one of those things that you can do to avoid uh, you know having a failed project, is ensuring that you have success criteria. You engage in a project, and at the end of the project, someone tells you, this is not what I expected, and you have put in so much. There's need to fairness is very good, both on the part of the customer and the part of the service provider, or the products or the manufacturer. So as the case may be. So in that vein, how do we balance it? Was it the fact that the customer seen artificial intelligence systems 2022 November, seeing chat GTP, seeing 2023, seeing advanced, AI technology or capabilities, and now feels that should have been part of the scope, or assume that you should give something much better. You hear things like good plating, you hear a lot of terminologies, in a way to manage this. I'm so excited each time I talk about project management. I don't need to hold any slide. I have a lot of slides when I'm talking about project management, as in from the beginning of the course to the end of the course. I've got slides. But I don't need to. That's why I want more like interactive session, so we can hit the nail on the head immediately. So we have risk management, we have schedule, and we have program management, right? Um, this is certification that you know uh, professionals needs to have. So what are the criteria? You have a secondary degree, or 48 months of project management experience, or PMP, or 84 month of program management experience within the last 15 years. Okay, so all you have your degree, and you have experience of program management within the last 15 years. Okay, all you have 48 years of project management experience. Now, somebody who asks, what's the different project program? All these details, they are not difficult, but I just want us to, before we go into the detail. So when it comes to PMI, this is the highest level. Okay, and I'm opportuned to have this. So you possess 96 months of professional business experience within the last 15 years. Okay, or 4 years of this degree or a global equivalent, or 48 months of portfolio management experience. And it's that when it comes to the exam, but the first thing that happens is an evaluation panel. This is very, I have been writing documentation. As a matter of fact, I saw this as one of the most challenging documentations uh, that I've ever written. Very, very challenging. Once you get a review and say congratulations, then you can move into that. It takes some time but for professionals who want to attempt this, yes, who wants to, this is another opportunity because we are few in the world. We are just very few in Nigeria, and we are not yet up to 15 in Nigeria, and in Africa, we are not yet up to 20, and so the same thing in the UK. That's why the experience of this, I can tell you, is really, really, really deep. Okay. Uh, Very essentially, this is where you know that doing the right work does not mean doing the work right. I say that again. This is where you know that doing the right work is not the same thing as doing the work right. I say that in another way. This is, a certification that helps you to know that doing the right work or the right project is not the same thing as doing the project right or doing the right, you know, work. Uh, it's very refreshing. It's very deep. Okay. And there are other certifications around it. By virtue of the timing, I may not be able to review. Let me see if I can talk about the relationship. Okay, relationship relationship between this, um, the Prince 2 and PMP, Scrum, and the rest of it, right? Um, so you can see PMP is the red, Scrum blue, and the amber is the Prince 2. Just a comparison. Uh, and over the years, because PMP has existed for long, you can see that Scrum has started catching up. And that is why PMI year 2019, thereabout, yeah, um, started talking about, you know, bringing agile into their standard. 2019, I discussed with a colleague who came from Canada and some other colleagues, and I was talking about an hybrid methodology, which is you can see obviously here. They said no, 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 no. They don't think there's going to be an hybrid. Is it that you do agile or you do waterfall? By virtue of the some projects, especially looking at the PPP, that is public-private and public-private partnership projects and programs that I was opportune to manage, I saw that as a need, and I used it. So I was one of those that evangelized, hybrid as at that time, especially looking at the PMBOK, or PMBOK means the PM Project Management Body of Knowledge, and it has different version 3, version 5, 6, version 7. So from version 6 of this PMBOK, that is the guide. Okay, you want to write the exam, that's the guide. You're writing a project, that's the guide. Okay, so program management also has its guide, portfolio has its guide too. So having said that, I was able to talk about the hybrid, and you see that PMI included Scrum, included much more than Scrum, Agile, okay, into the existing predictive methodology, which I did mention the other time. So that formed the Pinbox 6, and also improved on it Pinbox 7. All right, and of course you have Pinbox 8 soon. All right, so all of these things, it depends on, some people ask, okay, where should I start from? Okay, so it depends on you. If you drop uh, your comments and your location, um, I will attend to that. I will just do very quick assessment, um, and I will be able to guide you, much more. So uh, I'm not going to jump into overview of Scrum. Uh, I just want to give us different um, categories when it comes to some of the things we need to know to manage projects effectively. Okay, we need to first understand the techniques. We need to first understand that as junior project managers, there are certain knowledge we need to have. Okay, a certain skills we need to have, which most times are not being taught within the four walls of the institutions. Okay, now talking about professionals, uh, I want to believe some of the professionals are dropping their content. Let me see one or two questions. Now, talking about professional, okay. Trying to see, okay. Yeah, for professional, what will be my advice will be basically, if you've got a PMP, you've got a Prince 2 foundation, please go for practitioner, advanced. Now, PMI, if you've got portfolio, PMI has got, all the um, resources, a lot of resources, as you know, like we see some of our colleagues doing generative, AI as a PM. How do you see AI? And in terms of the PMOs, the maturity level of PMOs, how do you see the importance of AI? So, I was opportuned to also speak to um, a colleague from Okong, a senior colleague from Okong, who sought my view about artificial intelligence on the project. I I shared some views as to the readiness assessment of organization. Um, the world is really moving very fast when it comes to artificial intelligence, but you see, project management has got that same standard which talk about enterprise environmental factors. I'm talking to professionals now that I believe who understand what I'm talking about. They're talking about the culture of organization, talking about some of the artifacts, talking about some of the lessons learned, they're talking about some of deep resources that's um, help them to become that as unique selling points, right? Talk about um, political factors, talk about socioeconomic factors, talk about legal implication of things, talking about risk at a portfolio, that is the organizational risk itself. So you don't just want to rush into bringing in AI. You want to look at a lot of factors. Okay, so managing projects without tears. If you see that there is a new technology, you need to first understand the maturity level of your organization before you will start to implement artificial intelligence. Of course, one of the reasons I saw artificial intelligence as nice opportunity, and that's why I went for a master's in artificial intelligence, and I did search engine. I did a couple of machine learning algorithms, and I infused also into project management, how to create intelligence systems. I did a lot of architecture, great architectures when it comes to relation with project management. Why did I do that? Because I wanted to be able to see how all of this will help project management. So, should you just jump into AI? My recommendation and recommendation of experts around will be uh, yes and no. Yes, of course, because that's the trend, and there's a lot of advantages. During COVID-19, we could not even access people. The entire world, the World Health Organization could not access where people are, and if at certain particular time, if someone uh you know person A, for instance, has got COVID, we know by movement, so we don't have mobility data. Intelligence, whether intelligent, we are talking about everything as start from data. There's no mobility data to be able to provide the right intelligence as to how to manage that crisis. It's also a project, right? So how to manage that project. So it's the project of COVID-19 jumped into the table of the World Health Organization. If AI, as especially at this stage, or as AI is unfolding, and we have quality um, knowledge, okay, for the World Health Organization, it would have been a very successful mitigation strategy in terms of risk that they would have adopted, and they would have also been able to enhance a lot of the opportunities that are there. How do I mean? Organizations like telecoms have base stations different times, and when you call in, and between this base station and the next base station, or through spatial geospatial data, you can be able to provide intelligence, whether of course through maybe probes its data, to be able to provide intelligence for better management. So we need intelligence to be able to manage projects, right? Especially at the strategic level. Okay, organization has I'm trying to categorize organization into strategic, level, the tactical level, and operational level. For instance, the CEOs, the PMOs, the VPs, and the rest of them. Okay, the tactical level, people doing finance modeling and the rest of it. You know, subject matter experts, depending on the structure of the organization. Okay, that will bring us to the structure of organization now. Functional subject matter expert, and coming to operational levels, people keying the data and the rest of it, customer service and the rest of it. Now, depending on the level you have, you know, for instance, if starting from the operational level, it's more efficient if you have a robot, a chatbot, um, giving you intelligence about uh, a customer, you know, or customers, because you may not be able to attend to different customers at the same time, right? So you have robust system, as the case may be right now, where so that's an advantage, right? So depending on the organization, depending on the strategic objective of the organization, before you can talk about implementing artificial intelligence. As a matter of fact, we're going to devote another webinar to project management and artificial intelligence. Okay, why strategy leaders will not cry. How what are the things they need to put in place for them not to cry when we talk about managing such projects, managing projects without tears. Now, um, looking at just to wrap up, looking at the next line of action, it's actually to get your feedbacks. Okay, some that are trying to communicate right now, I'm still not being able to revert. I will revert, and you will get a quick response almost immediately after this webinar. And we're going to have another webinar that will, detail some of these feedbacks that we're having today, and we'll touch, what topic. For instance, if you need more information on risk management, if you need information on procurement management, if you need information about stakeholder management, if you need information about did I mention risk, scope, cost management, if you need information about agile, you need information about scrum, you need information about prince2, all this information that you need, will your comment, your request is what would determine the next video and the next webinar. But just as I was already into artificial intelligence, we bring in experts in the industry, subject matter experts, and we'll be able to share their perspective as to how to manage, projects when you talk about artificial intelligence, and when and how, to implement such thing. Critical analysis of this. Let's say business case, trying to justify the need and other parameters, as the case may be. All right, so we draw the curtain now. We're going to join at another time to be able to look at some of our feedbacks and to look at tending to each of these feedbacks one after the other. You want to be a project manager, what it means to be a project manager. You want to write a certification, drop in the comments the certification you want to write. You want to perhaps travel or get job, job opportunity, networking in project management. Drop your comments as to what you want. All right, I really thank you for joining. Some of us that had technical glitches, I believe some other time things would have been much better. We also provide let's say other platforms that you can join. Thank you. Bye bye for now.